Welcome to 3 Minute Gaming News, your one stop to get all your daily gaming news in just 3 minutes. The System Shock remake is coming to Switch and Switch 2 consoles this month. Developer Night Dive Studios has announced that the game will be dropping on December 18th. Reviews for the game have been good, so you can finally get your hands on the Switch version of this game, just a casual 2 years after it first released on PC. Fans of the Dead Space franchise are going to be sad to know that apparently EA has put the franchise on ice. This means that currently EA has no plans for any form of sequel, remake or reboot of the series. Now this seems like a surprise considering EA dropped the Dead Space remake that I personally found really fun, minus giving Isaac a voice, but let's not get into that. So are you disappointed that there doesn't seem to be any plans to remake the rest of the franchise? Let me know below. Okay, this is your warning for potential Resident Evil Requiem spoilers. So swipe away now, close your phone, mute the video until you see the trailer finish, whatever you need to do. GameStop's online listing for the deluxe edition of the game claimed that Rosemary Winters is a playable character alongside Grace Ashcroft. Now this was taken down very quick, however, fans of the franchise will know Rosemary as the daughter of Ethan Winters, the protagonist of the previous 2 games. Now obviously this is all unconfirmed, but it will definitely be interesting to see if this comes true. And finally, Ghost of Yotei is getting another update, this time to fix issues that have arisen from the recently added New Game Plus mode. Yep, that's right, New Game Plus was added and there's been a plethora of problems with it. Now some of these issues have been as simple as vendor problems, however some have been much more severe, such as soft locking the game. So if you've been struggling with New Game Plus, hopefully this will fix it for you. Now yesterday we brought you news of potential Resident Evil Requiem spoilers regarding a playable character. Well now we have even more potential spoilers regarding the game, so once again, mute the video until the trailer ends, swipe away, whatever you need to do if you want to avoid these. Okay. Here goes. Thanks to the PlayStation Store, the pre-download image for the game showed protagonist Grace Ashcroft front and center with a larger image of rumoured returning character Leon S. Kennedy in the background. Now Leon has been rumoured for a while to feature in the game, but is this the confirmation of his appearance we've all been waiting for? The Switch 2 has now just seen the release of Skyrim. That's right, there's now another version of the game available. This version is the Anniversary Edition and sees faster loading times and improved performance. Players who already own the Switch version of the game can upgrade to the Switch 2 version for free as long as you own the Anniversary Edition. Otherwise, the Switch 2 Anniversary Edition will set you back $60. Now, the Perfect Dark reboot might be on ice, but Take-Two Interactive have hired former developers Daryl Gallagher and Brian Horton to the company. It's been said that both men will start a new studio under the Take-Two umbrella, so it'll be interesting to see what these guys cook up for us. And finally, Medieval Dynasty, the medieval life sim, has gotten a free update as well as a paid DLC called the Exquisite Pack. Now, combined between this DLC and free update, players can now get new cosmetics such as formal wear, new hairstyles, an exquisite sword, as well as visibly pregnant women, new animations and conversations, and a productivity increase for players while the mother looks after the child. So if any of these sound interesting to you, you can get both now. Now let's start with Marvel Rivals, which will be launching Season 5.5 this Friday, December 12th. This update will be adding Rogue to the game as announced at the start of the season as a Vanguard character. This now means we have access to both key characters of this season, Rogue and Gambit, so you can look forward to testing her out in just a few short days. 2 more Nintendo 64 games are being added to Nintendo's classic library this month, those games being Rayman 2, The Great Escape, and the lesser known Tonic Trouble, which was also designed by Rayman creator Michael Ansel. These games will be available for Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack subscribers beginning December 17th. Grand Theft Auto Online has a new update available to download right now. This update is the Safe House in the Hills update, and this free download will add a bunch of new content to the game, such as new missions, vehicles, and a mansion that players will be able to get. We'll also get to see the return of Michael DeSanta, one of the protagonists from GTA 5. Now, yesterday we brought you news of the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Anniversary Edition having a surprise drop on the Nintendo Switch 2. Well, in what might be somewhat unsurprising news, considering Bethesda's recent history, players are already experiencing pretty big issues with the game. Now, while some players have gripes with the game being stuck at 30 FPS, or the fact it's 53GB in size, more pressing issues such as the game having delayed input lag when pressing buttons, or even being described as unplayable while in handheld mode by multiple people. Hopefully, Bethesda can resolve these issues ASAP. And finally, the new games being added to PlayStation Plus this month are as follows: Assassin's Creed Mirage, Wo Long Fallen Dynasty, Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, Planet Coaster 2, Cat Quest 3, LEGO Horizon Adventures, Paw Patrol Grand Prix, and Paw Patrol World. These will be available for premium and extra members from December 16th. Now, it's probably the biggest news of the day, but of course last night was the Game Awards and there was a ton of news from the event. So if you still need to watch it, or you're avoiding spoilers, this will not be the 3-minute gaming news for you. So skip away now, if not, let's dive right on in. And of course, we start with Clair Obscur Expedition 33, which has made Game Awards history by being both the most nominated game, as well as winning the most awards at the event, including Game of the Year. After this, during their sort of win speech, the developers, Sandful Interactive, announced a thank you update, which includes a ton of content. Now, players will be able to get themselves new weapons and armour, an escape from combat feature, more music tracks, a photo mode, a Lumina filter, and most importantly, a new area in the game known as Verso's Drafts, which includes new quest and story content revolving around Verso's childhood. This is a sizable update and it's absolutely free. Lara Croft is back in 2 new Tomb Raider games. The first being Tomb Raider Catalyst, which is the next adventure in the Tomb Raider franchise, which will take Lara across northern India in the wake of a mystical cataclysm that has unleashed ancient secrets. This is due out in 2027 for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series consoles and on Steam. Alongside this, we will see Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis, which is a remake of the original Tomb Raider game with fully updated visuals, gameplay and storytelling, very different from the remasters we've been getting recently. This is dropping next year for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series consoles and Steam, so you can look forward to playing these one after the other. In huge news, Star Wars The Old Republic is back, with Casey Hudson of Old Republic and Mass Effect fame as director. This will be Star Wars The Fate of the Old Republic, which appears to be a sequel in the Old Republic franchise, bringing us a new adventure RPG within the Star Wars universe. Larian revealed the next installment in their Divinity game franchise with an absolutely insane trailer, which really needs to be seen to be believed. There is a lot going on. Being quoted as being their largest game ever, even bigger than Baldur's Gate 3, it seems like Larian have been cooking up what could be another incredible RPG following the massively successful BG3. Resident Evil Requiem dropped a new trailer showcasing that not only is Leon S. Kennedy confirmed to be in the game after all the rumours, but he's also going to be one of the playable characters. So the wait for this game has just heated up. There's a new game within the Dungeons & Dragons world, being simply titled Dungeons & Dragons Warlock. Now, this was purely a cinematic trailer with no gameplay shown, however it appears to be a magic-based game, and we can probably make a few assumptions about the game just from the title and the relevant class. Now, there was so much more news from this event we could cover, but it would take more than 3 minutes. It's another quiet day of news, so let's jump in. Xbox Game Pass have announced 12 new games coming to the service this December. Now, some of these games are already out, while the rest will be drip-fed across the start of the month. Titles players will be able to access include Mortal Kombat 1, Dome Keeper, Death Howl, Routine, Marvel Cosmic Invasion, Lost Records of Bloom and Rage, Monster Train 2, Spray Paint Simulator, 33 Immortals, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, a game about digging a hole, and Bratz Rhythm and Style. So look forward to trying these in the coming days. CD Projekt Red have once again confirmed plans to release a new trilogy of Witcher games over the span of 6 years, further stating that this would mean a shorter developmental time between the upcoming Witcher 4 and the potential Witcher 5 and 6. So while this seems to be the tentative plan, how do we all feel about this? Both The Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk had glitchy launches, Cyberpunk notorious for having a terrible launch. So I really think a lot of this will depend on how smooth the launch of The Witcher 4 is. Where Wins Me, the game that seems to have just taken over the internet currently alongside Arc Raiders, is launching on mobile devices this month. The game will make its debut on iOS and Android devices on December 12th, and we have confirmation that the mobile version will support both cross-play and cross-progression for PlayStation 5 and PC users. So if you can't quite get enough of the game, now you can play it on the go, which is probably perfect for those long family gatherings over the Christmas period. And finally, the file size for the anticipated Metroid 4 Prime Beyond game has been discovered. Coming in at 26.3 gigs on the Switch and 32.6 gigs on the Switch 2, this will give you enough time to make some much needed space before the game's relaunch in just 2 days. That was your 3-minute gaming news. We'll see you tomorrow.